Hey, boys and girls, weather
Hello.
report, October 25th, 2021.
You sound kind of quiet.
Oh,
You do.
oh shit. They didn't.
Yeah.
They did it to me again.
Yeah, your mic doesn't sound good.
Let me fix.
It's like Peter when he comes in here.
Oh.
Yeah, we're one day closer to our inevitable deaths. Isn't that great?
Yeah. How's that? Better?
That's
Lot
good.
better.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
It's a lot better. The only problem is now that I can actually hear you and I have to
Yeah.
listen to you.
I know. It's a tough thing, AJ. It's a tough thing. So,
Yeah.
so tell us about your latest video and please link it so I can put it in my description.
Okay. Geez, my latest video. Well, my latest video, because I did a video talking about my favorite band, which is 9 Inch Nails, and I analyzed the lyrics, some of their songs that have atheistic or anti-religious themes, and I just sort of went over those lyrics. But if you're talking about my last video, like my last Matt Powell or Ken Hovind video,
Nah, we don't care about that. We
well,
care
I'm gonna,
about your 9 Inch Nails.
I'm going to talk about both of them.
Okay.
So, geez, the last video I did, it was either, I think it was Matt Powell's deceptive editing techniques. And what I did in that video is I took so there was an episode of Whack It Atheist called Apologia and AJ Get Desperate that Kent Hovind has now put on private. It's not on his channel anymore.
Ooh.
Not sure why. I have the video saved though. And
maybe he was beating a kid or getting arrested during the video. Did you?
I didn't see that. He talked about when he slammed a kid, but he didn't actually do it. He said that he would body slam me. Maybe that's why he took it down, because
maybe his lawyer advised he take it down until his court case clears up.
Yeah, because he threatens violence against me in the video, and maybe that's not a good look right now.
No, not good.
And I'm not exaggerating either. Like, but I took in that video, Matt Powell is notorious for taking clips from other people's videos or debates and deceptively editing them to cut out relevant bits of information or make it look like somebody is stupid. But in the case of my video, he literally was stitching different sentences together to make it sound like I was saying things that I didn't actually say. It was ridiculous. Wow. So the runtime of me and Apologia's collab video was 46 minutes or so. And the version of the video they showed, including them pausing and making comments, was about 11 minutes. So what I did is I just showed clips from that video. I showed all the parts where Matt Powell cuts between two separate clips.
Right.
And then I played from the original video. I would play that section so you can see a continuous section of how it's a nonstop thing where it's not those two scenes put together. It's actually a different continuity. And so, yeah, he's a big liar.
Is that Late Night Stream Whack and Atheist episode 5?
That's the other video I did. That was the very first Whack and Atheist that Matt Powell and Kent Hovind did together, was that one I was just talking about. And then they did one last Wednesday that was directed at a video from Rationality Rules, a really good video that he made, an excellent video about the evidence of evolution. And in that video, Matt Powell, I'm assuming he's the one who edits these videos. The video they showed from Rationality Rules, they had one section where he was comparing a hippopotamus and a whale, and because a hippopotamus is one of the closest living relatives to modern whales, and he listed that they're both almost hairless. And you could see on the screen that was the first bullet point, and that there was room for a bunch more things, but they just play that one part where it says, oh, they're both almost hairless, and then they cut to something else and don't show any of the other points he made.
Yep.
So I did a stream where I just watched the entire video and paused and made my comments and did Kent Hovind impressions. It was. I'm very happy with how that video turned out. Honestly, I think it's my best one yet in that series.
I linked all 3 videos, but there's a problem. Only 2 videos are free. The third one you got to pay me for to advertise. So I'll send you an invoice.
Well, I make money off advertisements that are on the video anyway, so I guess that's fair. But I will link them.
Have you got the first check?
No.
AJ, since you're a resident Ken Hovind expert, do you know if he reported to jail on the 18th, or
he did not? What happened with
that case or something? Or?
Yeah, what Kent Hovind did was first thing that he did was he tried to get another trial. He tried to tell the judge, I want a brand new trial, because he thinks the guilty verdict is contrary to law, and that the tape of Cindy screaming obviously shows that she started it and she was the aggressor. But the judge denied that. So the next step with Kent and his lawyers was to appeal the guilty verdict. And I don't understand this, but apparently because Kent has appealed the guilty verdict and he didn't report on the 18th, the legal system is just tied up until the next stage of the trial happens. I think it's
you think if you didn't report in a big city, they would have arrested you, but he lives in a small town.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, there should be a warrant out for his arrest. I don't understand how Kent can just not show up and just say, "Oh, well, I'm appealing the case." So what? What if he wants to go and do something to Cindy? She could get hurt or worse, and then the justice system would have completely failed to protect her, because the whole fucking point of sending him for 30 days is so that he's off the streets and he can cool off for a little bit, because really, some people were critical of me saying in the Apologia video that Cindy was safe because of the restraining order. They were saying, well, that's ultimately just a piece of paper.
Right.
And I was like, well, that is true. I guess I was sort of speaking optimistically. But yeah, really, she does still live not that far from Kent Hovind, you know what I mean? So it pisses me off, honestly. But it doesn't surprise me. But I was just talking, I don't mean to blab forever, but I was just talking to one of my patrons about this point. I was saying that for a while now, for a few months in the previous year, Kent Hovind and Ernie and Steve, they were all sort of doing their criminal acts under the radar, and more or less CSE and DAL were just a ministry that seemed basically normal, except for some small controversies on YouTube, just making fun of people and getting into YouTube drama, but nothing really to make news headlines. But now, once you've had both Steve and Kent Hovind's mugshot in the paper and a guilty verdict against Kent, whether or not that gets appealed, and you have the Apologia video that has over 90,000 views on it. And a lot of people know what's going on with Kent. And I would wager that it's not just people who are fans of YouTube who watch that video. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some law enforcement people in Lenox, Alabama, or higher up that also saw that video and are also paying attention to what's going on because of the newspaper articles. And so I think Kent is going to be under a microscope for a long time. So he might be able to delay all this stuff, but if he messes up again, it's not going to be good.
Yeah. Sooner or later, that thing is going to fall down out there. It sounds like it's teetering already with that guy on Praise's channel. I can't remember who he was, but he went out there to help, and he ended up like immediately getting booted. And he was kind of an ass, and they were an ass to him. Do you remember who that was?
Alex Cox.
Yeah.
Alex
Yeah,
Cox.
yeah. I would have never remembered the name if y'all had.
Yeah, I got a feeling there were two bad guys in that situation, but just, you know, the whole thing is going to eventually fall apart, and there's going to be a documentary about it in 10 years about, you know, the cult of Hovland.
Well, they can come to me and I'll help them produce it.
Yeah, hell, you might even be the you might even make the documentary. There you go. There's a career path for you.
Well, the Apologia video, some people were telling me that it seemed like watching an episode of 60 Minutes or something. The way that he edited all that stuff together was awesome.
So another question, AJ. So Matt Powell is at DAL now, right? And is he like just staying there temporarily, or do you know?
No, he's there. He's there. His wife is there. Their newborn infant is there. I think they have another kid. They're all there. Matt Powell is living there, I guess temporarily, but the idea is that he uprooted his whole life and moved down there. So, I mean, I would say it's permanent, basically, as of now.
Maybe it's like a short-term, full-time job or something.
Amazing.
So, getting back to your 9 Inch Nails video, didn't Johnny Cash do a cover of Hurt? Didn't 9 Inch Nails do Hurt?
9 Inch Nails was the original song was put out in 1994. It's the final track on Downward Spiral, and then Johnny Cash in I think 9 or 10 years later, right before he retired and then died shortly after, he covered the song and made a music video for it, and it's a really great song and powerful music video. But honestly, I think the original song is better.
Yeah,
I that's just my preference.
I'm just wondering if, like, thematically, you know, because obviously Johnny Cash was a religious man, and your whole question was, but you know, this doesn't seem to have that song doesn't seem to have much to do with religion.
Well,
it seems more like the lowest point in your life kind of song.
Yeah, and Johnny Cash knew a lot about that.
Yeah,
there's actually an interesting point regarding that, because I believe did Johnny Cash not curse in his lyrics, or?
Oh, he had cursing outbursts, so he would curse on stage and stuff.
Well, because in the original lyrics of the song, this is another reason why I don't really like the cover song. Not that I don't like it, but the reason I like the original better is because in the original song, there's a lyric that says, it says, "I wear a crown of shit upon my liar's chair."
Yeah.
And in the Johnny Cash version, he changed it to a crown of thorns,
right?
Which is obviously a direct biblical reference.
Yeah,
and I really like. You don't like change Trent Reznor's lyrics. It's like painting over the Mona Lisa. Like I don't like that.
Yeah, there's a song called "Speed of Sound of Loneliness" where I got my name from. It was done by John Prine, and the John Prine version did not. It said, I come home drunk, I come home something else, I don't know. But then when A3 did the remake, which was much better, they said, I come home drunk, I come home fucked up. And so they added cursing to the whole thing. And sometimes, you know, you can do that for your version of the song, I think. I don't think it's a that big a faux pas, because you're putting a different spin on the remake, right? That sort of thing. And A3 put a really dark and good spin on John Prine's original. So one of my favorite songs. It's called "Speed of Sound of the Loneliness." Both versions are excellent because John Prine has an excellent voice and A3 is an absolutely fantastic band. It used to be the Alabama 3, but I guess Alabama tried to sue them or some fucking thing.
That's weird.
Yeah, because they were sort of an Well, they pretended to be a religious band. They pretended to be D. Wayne, some pastor or something like that. So he came off like a fundamentalist preacher on the A3 album, the whole album. They kind of do that theme. And they had one top 40 song back in the late 90s, and alternative. And apparently Alabama took offense to this band and went after them. So they changed their name to A3. That was the story. I don't know if it was true or not.
But Alabama was around forever. It felt like, anyway.
Oh, the band. Yeah. No, I mean the band the state went after A3.
Oh, the state of Alabama went after A3?
Right. Yeah.
Really? I thought you meant the band Alabama.
No, I heard it was the state of Alabama that
I just assumed, context clues and everything. I just assumed it was the group Alabama.
Well, I guess I'm not very good at context. Yep.
Well, no, any other topic, you probably would have been, dead on. It's just, I remember Alabama from the 70s and 80s. And
have you ever known me to be dead on?
Not much.
Only dead on arrival.
Dead on arrival. Yeah.
Oh, damn, where's my rim shot?
What is happening with StreamYard? Holy shit.
They're just busting out.
That was slow. Holy Christ. Something's, oh no, I think I have browser problems. Oh no.
Oh, yeah, Speed was referring to the state of Alabama, Walker, and I was thinking it was the band Alabama. Either way, I think they would have grounds for suing.
Oh my God. StreamYard just slowed my mouse up and just took over my system for a little while. Bad StreamYard. Where's Leo when we need him to, go on a big rant about StreamYard for about 5 minutes that nobody wants to listen to?
We should have recorded the last one.
More like 25 minutes.
Yeah, 25 minutes. Yeah. Yep. So this guy, what the hell's his name? Maverick Christian. He's got a paper, and the paper is just filled with just thick math. And the paper is linked in the description. I don't know if he ever got it published or not, but it's about naturalism and stuff. And he kind of does the same trick.
Hello?
Who are you?
I'm Midnight.
Did somebody invite you? Why are you here?
He just can't come in without interrupting everyone.
No, you can't.
We must have left the back window open.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I was here for like 5 minutes without saying anything. So fuck you. Mental states are effective.
No, you were not. No, you were not. That is a lie.
He was.
Okay, well, watch the screen. Watch the stream afterwards.
We're gonna edit that part out, Midnight, so it looks like you just popped in and said hello. I can edit this shit anyway. So this whole debate, I linked it in the description, is going on about another argument for against naturalism based on the mind and things like that. And he says mental states are effectively epiphenomenal, meaning that, well, I could explain that a little bit later, but he says, let's see, mental states, garbage mental states, vastly outnumber those that accurately resemble one's external reality. And he never gives an argument for that other than that when you dream, your mental state is not about an external reality, right? That's it. So he's talking about something, a big philosophical stinky dead whale called basically the fallibility of the senses, that what we sense is not accurate, that sort of thing. And I do not favor that particular proposition at all, because I think what we sense is 99.9% accurate. And if it weren't, we'd probably be dead. But it's the idea that we see something and there can be an illusion, or we can make a mistake or something like that. And yeah, that happens. But about 2 seconds later, you realize what your mistake was. And if you had no accuracy of your senses, you would have no way of knowing that you made a mistake. So the fallibility of the senses kind of falls down right there. But he just assumes that most mental states are garbage states. And then somehow from that, he goes to what is epiphenomenal. And that, do you guys know the difference between epiphenomenal and supervenience? Anyone?
I am really not really understanding what supervenience is. I did look up epiphenomenon, which is a secondary phenomenon accompanying another and caused by it. Who'd we lose? Midnight? Where the hell did Midnight go?
No, he just left.
I'm sorry, but I just cannot stand the people that talk about philosophy like this. Use fucking simple words that people can understand, you fucking pricks. I'm so sick and tired of this bullshit.
Yeah.
God damn it. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of this
fine.
Fucking obfuscation. Just fucking communicate effectively. Tell me some shit I can actually fucking understand. God damn it, dude.
In fact, I advise that you don't watch that.
I don't watch that debate
video at all. You know, the one with that debate, because you'll get upset.
You'll get really upset.
I just like he was on Pelagia's channel. Wow. Wow.
Fodor or?
Yeah, James Fodor.
Yeah, but James Fodor is not the one.
Is that a different person?
No, this is not James Fodor's argument. James Fodor is a naturalist.
But the James Fodor that had the whole argument that Danny brought up, that's the same guy, right?
No, that's Jerry Fodor.
Yeah, Jerry.
Really?
And Jerry is dead. He's dead. Jerry Fodor.
Oh, okay. I was confused. I was like, why? Right. Okay, never mind. I'm very, very stupid.
Okay, if something is supervenient, okay, on something else, so it's supervenience. Let me write it out for us. Hope we can see the screen. So you have something going on called A, which might be your mental states, and then they depend on something else called B, which would be the physical state of your brain, right? So this would be your mental state, right there. I could have named it M. But fuck it, it's too late. Anyway, so it's dependent on that. So what supervenience says, there can't possibly be a change in A. So there can't be a change in A unless there's a change in B. In other words, if your mind state changes, there must be some change in your brain, right? Which I think we all accept. That our mind is supervenient on our brain and body in the world, that sort of thing, right? You guys accept that?
I would accept that, yes.
Yeah, yes. But supervenience is kind of like it's another kind of thing, like the wetness of water or something that you can't quite understand how you get them from the physical states, but you do know that if the physical state changes, like if water starts to heat up, it gets less and less wet, actually, and eventually starts to boil. But if the water could not possibly boil without there being a change in the molecular state, so the sense we have of water or the properties of water would be supervenient on the molecular, physical states of water, that sort of thing.
Like a phase change.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So supervenience means that there's a really tight connection between these two things. That your mind is really tightly connected to whatever's going on in your brain. So anyway, the person that believes in the supernatural or the soul or dualism or whatever could imagine a possible world where your mental state could change, but your brain state was identical. So your brain was, doing the same exact thing, but you had a different mental state. So anyway, but supervenience is a physicalist position primarily. So now epiphenomena is something else, and it's been described a couple of different ways. So epiphenomenal means epi on top of the phenomenal, which is your mind. So it's primarily about the mind. So what they're saying is that there's a mental state, okay, that depends on the brain. And they may or may not go along with supervenience, right? But basically, this mental state has no causation. So your mental state can't cause a change in the physical world, okay? So mental states are like ethereal, something floating above the swamp, like a fog, that has nothing to do with the swamp. So it's something on top of, and that means that, it's completely epiphenomenal. So this guy takes that to mean that if you had brain state 1, so you had B1 or B2, okay, the same thing would happen in the physical world. Okay.
Dude,
So
speed. The room is spinning. Like I don't know what is going on.
okay.
And I like how supervenient and supervenience have completely different definitions. That's very funny to me.
Supervenient. How do normal people use the word supervenient?
Well,
Nobody normal that I'm aware of uses it.
Oh,
well, the comment was on the screen a second ago that said coming or occurring as something unexpected, but then supervenient says referring to a relation between sets of properties or sets of facts.
Right. Okay. It's unexpected that your mental states would supervene on your brain states, right?
What is a mental state, though?
Just what's happening in your mind right now.
Okay, I'm about to put in side chat.
Okay, I understand, AJ, if nothing's happening in your mind right now other than spinning.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a definition of supervene in legal, in the legal parlance.
Oh yeah, that should be interesting.
Okay, hold on. I have to cut this one in two, so it will take two posts for this. Okay, here we go. And okay, and there we go. Supervising or supervening, unforeseen, intervening, an additional event or cause. A supervening cause is an event that operates independently of anything else and becomes the proximate cause of an accident. So I'm thinking, like, let's say you ran a stop sign.
Okay.
And you're past the stop sign, and then a big telephone pole just happens to fall over as you're driving down the road, and it crushes your car. Well, the running the stop sign didn't cause you to have an accident. The cause of the accident was completely unrelated to your driving activities. To me, so that sounds maybe a way that you can apply the idea of supervenience, although that's kind of a silly illustration. But
yeah. In philosophy of the mind, supervenience is strictly that your mental states depend upon your brain states. So they're totally connected.
And I agree with that.
Whereas in epiphenomenal, this connection is sort of weaker in that there is no causative. Like if you think something, it's not going to affect your brain state. So there's something else going on in your brain, basically, that causes C. It isn't a mental state. Like I thought, okay, I just remembered I left the burner on. That is a mental state that causes me to run upstairs and turn it off, right? So they're saying that, no, your mental states don't have to exist at all. In other words, we could be zombies. And so the people that want to push epiphenomenalism are already trying to establish a dualism, basically, though it's sometimes weaker. They can still be physicalists, but anyway. So epiphenomenal is weaker than supervenience. Mm-hmm. So I am a strict supervenientist. And fuck lawyers. Supervening cause of an event that operates independently. Anything else becomes a proximate cause of an accident. Yeah, I don't know, proximate cause.
So what if I guess supervenience could also be like you're doing something and then somebody just happens to bring a really strong electromagnet and puts it close to your head, and you suddenly have an urge to, redo the house or something,
Yeah.
So something not related to your normal biological activities has interfered to make you change your thoughts and your attitudes and your goals.
I would like to answer a question from the side chat.
Yep.
It says, how are long-term memories stored? And I think the current idea that this could be wrong. I know there's some research going on now that might show that it's more complicated than this, but the idea from neuroscience is basically that short-term memories are initially formed and they're stored in your hippocampus, and then gradually they're transferred into a sort of long-term storage in your neocortex. and
Yes.
and they've been looking at like different parts of your brain, like the amygdala, where you store memories that are like more emotional experiences versus just like, I don't know, like rote memorization. You know, there and yeah. So I guess that would be my answer.
Yeah, it gets a lot more complicated, but yeah, that is correct, and that is the current thinking that that basically it's there's a temporary index card type storage and a quick storage around your ears and your hippocampus. And the hippocampus, interestingly, is called your LO cortex, meaning your old cortex. In other
Hello.
words, it's more ancient, not LO, but LO cortex,
Hello.
like
Now,
Allosaurus,
real
old
quick,
Saurus.
before we go into that particular subject any deeper, getting back to that electromagnet idea, I understand that my illustration there might be totally off, and so I'm not claiming that I understand supervenience yet. But I was just trying to throw out examples to see if I'm in the right, track.
Well, let's see. So, okay, you got your brain, right? Okay, and then you've got the magnet right here is a big magnet. We'll do it like that. It's your magnet, right? And then you have a mental state. So you put the magnet alongside the brain, and it changes your mental state. The supervenience person would say, well, the magnet changed something in your brain, and that changed something in your mental state. So there's a causal chain here, basically. Whereas the epiphenomenalist would say, well, this didn't necessarily happen here. That part didn't necessarily happen. The magnet could have basically changed your mental state and had nothing to do with your brain.
But have they done those fMRI studies? And I know those things are limited in usefulness and should be looked at with skepticism and further study. But can't you think about one thing and it shows in your brain, take an image and then think about something different, and the brain states are different?
Oh yeah. We know that brain states always change. In fact, you have never had the same brain state twice in your life, ever. And in fact, no two human beings in all of the cosmos, or two sentient beings in all of the cosmos, have had the same brain state or the same mental state. And there's an argument for that, but we probably shouldn't get there. But it has to do with qualia, basically the richness. The richness of experience. But know that every moment of your life, you are experiencing something brand new all the time. You're always changing your brain. You're changing, and the world around you is changing, and you're always in new states. It would be a hell of a coincidence for the same mental state to happen twice. The same complete mental state. Even though you can look at a red cup, and you can look away, you can look back at the red cup. There's a lot similar about that state. But I would argue that is a vastly different state because things have changed. Anyway, but so supervenience and so I don't want to shit on epiphenomenalism too much, because some physicalists maintain that the mind is something that is a result of the brain, but it has no causative effect on the world around it. That it's just sort of it's kind of like some shit floating above the swamp, like some fog floating above the swamp. It has no causal effect on the swamp, even though the fog would, but don't go there. Anyway, so I hope, so now you know supervenience and epiphenomenalism. So this stinky guy.
I wanted to say something about another question in the chat.
Sure.
So I guess this is like a follow-up question of just saying what constitutes a memory, or what physically is a memory. And I guess speaking about long-term memories, I would say, in my opinion, that they have an actual physical presence in your brain, because you have neurons and they're making new physical connection, and the synapses are forming sort of paths in your brain with each other when new memories are formed. And I don't know if I can explain this in a way that makes sense, but if you've ever thought about one thing, like a memory that made you think about another thing, and that made you think about another thing. Like, suddenly you're down a sort of pathway, and you think like, how did I start thinking about this this event? And you can sort of trace backwards, like, okay, well, I thought about this, what happened on this day, and then that reminded me of where I was at this time. And these sort of pathways that you're following in your memory, I think, are actually like physical connections between neurons in the brain. Because when we have patterns or behaviors that we do compulsively, a lot of times we can do them without thinking, because I think the neurons in your brain are firing down the same sort of route, the same way over and over again. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, there's so in your cortex, which is where all your long-term memories are stored, there's about 1 to 2 million cortical columns, they call them. They're little patches, basically. They're little clusters of neurons that run through 6 layers in your brain, your cortex. And that cortex on the outside of your brain is about the size of 6 credit cards if you stack them on top of each other. That's how thick it is. That's where all of your, almost all, everything long-term that you have is stored in that little layer. And it's amazing how skinny it is. It's only 6 credit cards high. Okay. Anyway, so in this 1 to 2 million cortical columns, there are about 100 million mini columns, they call them. And they're more tightly clustered sections of memory. And so you've got room for, like 100 million separate, things that you can record in your memory. But my theory is that we overuse each cortical column. Depending on how exactly you light up the column, it can give you different results. So if I'm thinking about David, David Bowie is going to be right there, right next door. There's going to be something, and sometimes I'll be thinking about a cat, and I'll remember something about my mom, which just happened to be kind of like very close in that same network, so that a little bit of my mom lit up when I thought about a cat. That sort of thing.
And I would say that a way that you could sort of back up the argument that memories are something that's a physical construct in your brain is if you think about people who have dementia, and you think, how could this person forget, is 80 years old, but they're forgetting what their grandson's name is? How is that, or their husband's name? Like, how is that possible? But if you look at a brain scan of somebody who has dementia compared to a healthy brain, there's like physical huge chunks that are missing from the brain itself. And so I think that it's possible that, maybe some of these neural pathways have been destroyed. And so when your brain is trying to sort of fire down these paths to remember something as common as what is my wife's name, and you suddenly can't, it's because the memory is just literally not there anymore.
Yeah, that can happen. And
it's bad,
usually the first thing, but the other thing about the hippocampus is that not only does it store your current temporary memories, but it has sort of an index card system that when something happens to you currently, it goes down to the hippocampus, comes up with a little index that points to a part of your cortex that sets you off. And the hippocampus is the first part of the brain to be damaged if you sniff bad chemicals or take bad drugs or drink too much or have Alzheimer's. The hippocampus is usually the first area to suffer, and that has the index system. So basically, if the person can't remember something, the memory seems completely gone. It is also possible that something's going to trigger that memory, and they're going to remember it again, and you're going to think, "Oh my God, they're getting better." But actually, what's happening is something just triggered a memory that wasn't destroyed, but the index card to that memory was destroyed. Like they're, remembering their kid or their husband or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and I wonder, like, if you have damage to brain cells, like from something like chemical fumes or paint or glue or something like that, is that because it crosses the blood-brain barrier really quickly, or is it for a different reason? Like,
yeah, I don't know. That'd be a question for a doctor, but I think so. Yeah. I think it's, it definitely gets into your brain and starts affecting your neurons and destroying them. The other thing about the hippocampus or the yellow cortex is the only area of your brain where actually new neurons are being born. They're being created. So there's neurogenesis. All the other areas of your brain, you have all the neurons that you're ever going to have when you're born. And from there on, they die off. So, but the hippocampus, you can regenerate new neurons. And there's some studies that indicate if you keep actively learning into old age, you will keep that neurogenesis a lot higher than if you just sit around and sit in your chair and do crossword puzzles, right? If you just do one thing. So there's hope for people that want to keep their mind alive by keeping it stimulated, learning new things. You will generate new neurons in that index card system part of your brain. So.
Yeah, I think that's probably what causes you to form new ones is learning or having educational experiences or something that's enriching you. But I think, I don't know if you were saying crossword puzzles were like a bad example, but I think that might be a good way to keep your brain stimulated versus like literally just watching fucking reality television or something.
Yeah, it's better. But if you do the same game over and over again, you're only going to stretch it so far. So you should try for a wide range of learning and experiences if you really want to keep yourself alive. Because even just doing Sudoku forever is going to eventually, you can hear the toilet flushing.
Well, I was just thinking, like, we're talking about like the pathways of memory. If you think about Kent Hovind, the way that he repeats the same stuff over and over again, he must have like the strongest like pathways in his brain.
Oh,
ever.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you could probably see him with a microscope. You could see him with a microscope.
Yeah.
And cut his brain open, you're going to see that pine tree. What is it? What is a pine tree related to? Or you think you're
a whale or an elephant or a pine tree?
Yeah, you're going to see those two things. In fact, if you brain scanned them, you'd probably see a picture of a fucking whale and a pine tree.
Yeah, the next video I'm working on is because he put out a video that was real short that was just talking about the geologic column, saying that the layers in the geologic column are all the same age and that the geologic column doesn't exist, even though you can literally go see it in several different locations on Earth, and just all those crappy claims. So that's going to be the next video I'm working on, and I have help from some people in the Twitter group. The geology nerds is what I called them.
Yeah, I did.
I would say that
anyway,
since we're having a discussion for the benefit of the audience, it's not really going to be very satisfactory to just say,
kind of painful.
Read my paper.
He goes through a lot of stuff. He talks very fast. Like, it helps to slow it down.
How is that persuasive to anyone? How does that help anyone make a decision about?
He makes a lot of just pulls a lot of shit out of his ass, even though he's got a whole lot of math to back it up in the paper that he has. He comes up with this idea that the aliens could have entirely different mental states and they have nothing to do with reality. And so there's no connection, basically. He's trying to establish that there's no connection between mental states and brain states overall. And it's a little deeper than that. But anyway, enough of that. I had to do a Weenie report today because I have a picture of a Weenie, and this guy's a Weenie. A Weenie is a philosopher that comes up with some big long syllogism, a bunch of fucking math, obscures the fuck out of it with terminology, and tries to pull the wool over your eyes. That's a Weenie.
That's a Weenie.
That's a Weenie.
But yeah, I don't know. That guy needed to slow way down, and the talk. It went on forever between there were like 3 or 4. They began with S, something 1, something 2. 3 or 4 statements about the probability of something, and they just talked on and on and on incessantly about number 3 and 4, and that just drove me crazy.
Yeah. I couldn't believe in the very beginning he pulled that thing out of your butt that most of the mental states we have are garbage states that have nothing to do with reality because we dream. Like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What about when we're awake? I don't know. Anyway, Should I open the stream up to the masses?
What makes it garbage? That's a pretty. I don't recall a really clearly defined definition of a garbage state.
He calls it a garbage state because that has nothing to do with reality. Like if you're dreaming about.
How do you know that?
I had a dream that a big chunk of the oak tree fell on the cat fence. It was very vivid. And I went out there and like, oh shit, I got to get the cats in. And anyway, but that had nothing to do with reality because I went outside and the oak tree had indeed not fell down. So.
Well, yeah, that particular segment of a brain state, but how do you know that there's not some other aspect of that current total brain state that is not garbage? Does a brain state have to be something that you consciously experience?
I was distracted by chat. I'm sorry.
I'm just asking whether or not you have to be aware of things going on in order to have a non-garbage brain state.
Yeah, I think he's making the case that most of our states are garbage states, that we don't have any way of being sure that what our mental states are a representation of reality.
That just means they're brain states of unknown purpose or practicalness, So I don't know that garbage, the word garbage helps.
So Do You Know Me asked the question. I think they found a case where a split brain person, that's when a person's brain gets cut in half. There's cables that connect the two halves of your brain. And I think they found a case where one was having a dream state while another was awake. I don't know if that's true or not, but it just seems like something I remember.
I remember something like that, but yeah, we'd have to dig that up.
V.S. Ramachandran is the one to talk about people with split brain syndrome. There are some amazing cases. There's this one person that was trying to fry eggs, and what the hell? So with one hand, she was cracking eggs in a pan. With the other hand, she was picking the eggs up and throwing. The two halves of the brain were doing different things. And I heard of one case where there was one half of the brain was an atheist and the other half was a Christian, which really, I would love to have that fucking person on this channel. Maybe we can get that person on this channel. That would be great. We'd have to give him two sign-ons, two StreamYard sign-ons. One for his right hand and one for his left hand.
That's true. Yeah. Two YouTube accounts.
Yeah, you'd have to type. It'd be interesting. I'm gonna open the room up.
Okay.
Because I'm running out of give a shit.
It should be exciting.
Where'd AJ go?
AJ,
didn't say goodbye. What a
really.
bitch.
I wish there was a way to lock the door until they say.
Yeah, we advertised the shit out of his channel, and then he just leaves without saying anything. It's like, oh my god, what a guy.
He didn't put anything private chat. He did give us a link or two.
Yeah, I think I got all the links in the description already. And it's Peter.
Hello, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
You're ignoring me, aren't you, Speed?
No.
He just said hello, Peter, and so did I, and you didn't acknowledge me. So who's ignoring who?
No, I posted one relevant comment.
When?
One relevant comment earlier.
You posted something relevant? Oh, shit. It seems Answers and Atheism has been getting streaming lessons from Hovind lately. Granted, we hear him talk less now.
Yeah, that was the second one where you had the stream running that you had on screen and you were talking over it profusely. So we didn't hear a fuck. Nothing from the stream, nothing from you, because it was all garbled up.
Oh shit.
That's what Hovind usually does.
Oh, when was that? Or how long was that?
I was trying to tell you, I was going to tell you that, but you finally shut it off.
Yeah.
Well, you could have told me sooner.
Well, it was only for 20 seconds or something, maybe 30. I don't know. Wasn't very long.
Okay, well, long enough for Peter to complain about it.
Well, as I said, that was the second one.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know.
There's no arrest warrant out for Hovind.
That's funny.
No, it's not, because he launched the second appeal at another court, claiming that he didn't have a fair trial. He's intended on doing that until he runs out of juice, just to keep out of jail. He's going to appeal to a higher court every single time.
But if you got an order to show up for jail for sentencing, an appeal doesn't do anything about that normally.
Well, didn't he have an order to show up for court or show up for jail on the 18th, and he didn't? He's not in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They let him go because he's, a local figure around there, I'm guessing.
According to my information, is that if you question the verdict at a higher court, it's going to be on hold. So there's no need for him to go to jail because
No, that isn't the way it works. If you're ordered to show up for jail, if you're sentenced, you got to show up for jail. Filing an appeal you can do while you're in jail, but that doesn't change you showing up for jail. Otherwise,
but he isn't filing an appeal. He is filing the fact that he didn't get a fair trial at a higher court.
Doesn't matter if he was ordered to show up for jail,
which has suspended the sentence while the appeal is.
No,
that's what I heard.
No, it's not the way it works. Not the way the legal system works. Otherwise, every criminal that got sentenced would say, "Oh, wait a minute, Judge, I'm filing an appeal," and walk out.
That's right.
No, doesn't work that way. You go to jail if you're sentenced to go to jail. So if he was sentenced,
a judge can suspend sentencing, though. If the appealant and judge says suspend sentencing until we go to this higher court ruling. I could see that being the thing, but I don't think, default, no, because most people have to wait in jail for their appeal.
Right. It depends on when he filed the appeal, if he filed it before he failed to show up or after.
He filed it before.
Okay, well, then the judge could have pulled a fast one.
On Thursday.
Normally that wouldn't happen.
On Thursday, his first appeal was thrown out, so he launched the second one on Friday.
Yeah. If you didn't have some pull with the local justice system, I don't think that he would have gotten away with what he got away with. So I don't know.
Also keep in mind he's in Alabama.
He had to have some judge in his pocket though to be able to say to appeal and have a judge say, okay, suspend sentencing until.
Yeah, I'm sure they cut him a break, but like you said, Speed. I mean, look at all the murder cases, right? People get found guilty of murder and they're in jail serving their sentence and they're appealing while they're in jail, right? I mean, that's normally how it goes, but in this case they probably just said, all right, we'll hold off on putting a bench warrant out for you until we go through this process. So
if he was ordered to show up, then there would now be an arrest warrant out for him, and it seems that there's no arrest warrant out for him.
Yeah, because he pulled a fast one.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's up to the judge to issue the bench warrant, so the judge chose not to. I
wanted to see.
We'll let him appeal.
I want to see him running from the cops on his little 4-wheeler out there through his gravel pits, trying to escape. That'd be some excellent footage.
Yeah, you and me both.
It would be.
You think they'd have helicopters out there like with OJ?
No, hold on. We need that footage, and then I will add Dukes of Hazzard music to it.
Yes. Dukes of Hazzard.
So, Brainbug, what are you doing on your channel? You're doing a lot of stuff on your channel. You never talk about it.
Well, this month I was talking about aliens and alien cults and stuff. Actually just carried that over to Mr. Bear's channel there a couple weeks ago. We talked about the CE5 people, the Stephen Greer's, Dr. Stephen Greer, and it's meditating for aliens. It's really a strange phenomenon. It's that thing that Demi Lovato was talking about when she got all offended about people using the term alien for extraterrestrials.
So these are human
I have to address
beings.
that question from Mr.
Excuse me, Peter.
Mr.
Excuse me,
J.
Peter. Excuse me,
They
Peter.
is not here. They's not here.
Who's they? What?
They. You don't know who they is?
They.
Hey, Brainbug.
The ominous nameless
Them.
they.
So these are humans gathering together to meditate and pray concerning aliens?
Yes.
Okay.
They do it in the
otherwise there
desert.
could be cults of aliens meditating, and I want to see that.
No, it's cults of people meditating for aliens.
Well,
To have alien experiences and see UFOs.
oh yeah, I remember when I was a kid and watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Damn, I wanted to be on that ship.
You were a kid? Holy shit!
I was a kid.
It came out a few years before I was born.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was damn near 30. I was damn near 30.
But that was a big blockbuster. I remember it.
I went and saw it 13 times. My wife came twice.
Back.
The other fucking 11 times I had to do it by myself.
See, all you had to do was we talk about Hovind for a few minutes, and AJ pops back in.
Yeah. Now I have to keep talking about it. Hold on.
So, by the way,
Scott, I put a link in the public chat to They's channel. You should check it out.
There is a new series called Alien Invasion out on Apple TV, which is actually kind of interesting.
Ooh, ominous they.
If you want to know the stuff, the people that I've been watching, it's the Unacknowledged. If you ever watched that documentary, it's available on a few free on some streaming stuff. It's like alien or UFO sightings and stuff like that, mixed with a lot of like new age woo woo ideas. So, yeah.
Yeah, I usually skip those things.
Yeah.
I got a friend that got into it for a while, and man, he was taken by watching too many documentaries. So I decided that documentaries can probably damage you.
Or you all remember the Raelians, right? The people
I've heard of such.
Yeah, they're still around too. I don't know what they're up to, but I thought they were supposed to all leave on a UFO in like 2000.
You know, when the Raelians go quiet, you know there's trouble coming.
That's what they say.
Yep. So Mr. J was born the year Close Encounters came out. I was applying for Social Security.
Wow. All these wet behind their ears kids around here.
Yeah. Kids today, man. If only you'd seen what I've seen.
I don't want to be a pup. Can I be a kitten?
Does anybody here remember where they were when JFK was assassinated?
I was in my mother's womb.
-20 right here.
I was one. But Speed, if you had seen what I had seen, then you'd know how I'd screwed you over.
Yeah, but I'm not going to see it, and I haven't seen it, and I remain pleasantly.
Yeah, you might see it. There are a lot of people who know it, and no one will tell you. But
no,
I'll never see it in the end.
Nope.
By the way, can you do me a favor? Play this. It's timestamped.
Play what?
And I would like to request a link to that channel in the description, because this guy is awesome and he needs more views.
Oh,
if only because of his voice.
Who's this guy? Oh, they guy? Ominous
they. I think most people will have seen him in the credits of Scientist Mel. He was also responsible for editing some of the music for Mel's intros.
Well, I subscribed. Got to support the community.
He is a awesome guy. And if Speed will play that clip.
Oh, my sound's hang on. Sound check.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. No, I don't care about you hearing me. I care about hearing you. When I say sound check, when are you supposed to say something?
Oh, hey.
Something.
Okay, fine.
Something.
I'll go with that. Yeah. Say something else, Peter.
Something
please,
else.
For a change.
something else.
Okay, gotcha. We're good.
For
Your
those
Shill
curious,
checks.
watch Speed's channel carefully and see if you can spot how I fucked with it. But don't tell him.
Watch Speed's channel carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, do you know?
I don't see. I don't know. I don't know what he said. So
Yeah,
something on the picture that you're showing.
He's just crazy fucking Dutchman. We don't just ignore him.
Ignore him. Let's just play the clip.
And a deficit of $480 billion. What this means is if you are currently a shill, you owe $48,000 to the NASA division to help keep the lie alive. Please report to your home base and put your wallet where your loyalty is.
What the fuck?
Lastly, I wanted to draw attention to the intro of this video, which, much to my surprise, was graciously donated again by Gonna Go For It. I have waived your shill charges for the year, Gonna Go For It.
Wow.
See? I don't pay NASA shill charges.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
By the way, this is a brilliant video. This is where he talks about what a conspiracy theory actually would cost, and he's done more shit like that.
I was thinking about that. The cost of overturning the conspiracy to overturn the election. Can you imagine how many people they would have to pay off and keep quiet and kill?
It's impossible. But this guy really is brilliant. I can't stress that enough. He's also a really nice guy, and I need people to go over there and subscribe.
Okay, I linked his video in the description of this video. So
he's working on a new one where he's pretty much going to mock himself. So I can't wait.
What the hell is that beepy noise?
I hit a little button
TV
on my
noise?
Apple Watch.
Yeah. So
He's
I think
by his phone.
I think my thumbnail for today's video was just fucking incredible, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I've seen better ones when you outsource it.
Yeah. Blowing your own horn there.
Yeah. But by the way, your email's still not working, right?
What?
I sent you 2 emails today.
Did I get any email? Yeah, I got one, I think. Yeah, I got one.
You got 2.
No, I didn't. Oh, which? Where did you send them? Oh, you sent them there.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, I'll ask him for a link. Okay. Yeah. Goddamn.
No, I wasn't asking for a link.
No, it was Randolph's email.
Yeah. I checked with Randolph. I sent him 2 emails. I haven't heard back from him yet, but I didn't get an error message. So both emails that I gave you work.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I had before.
Except you don't spell Randolph with a PH. You spell it with an F. But he does have a catch-all, so the PH spelling will also get through.
Yeah, it was the one I had. It was the one that Gmail pops up automatically when I type in Randolph or RAND, and it rejected it yesterday. So I just sent a test email to see if it's working. Was our universe created in a laboratory from Ken Ham?
No, it wasn't created in a laboratory from Ken Ham.
I don't think Ken Ham has any laboratories.
I don't think Ken Ham has a laboratory.
I just got a email from him.
From him?
Yeah, I get emails.
Him with a capital H?
No, him with a lowercase h.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. And I thought you were onto something.
Nope. No, ain't that important.
Do you think it's
okay? Address address not found. It says address not found. That was the address. What the fuck?
What address?
The one that you sent me. Wait a minute. Your message wasn't. Why did it use that one? Why did it do it?
I sent emails to both addresses and did not get an error message.
I got an error message.
Speed, click on all mail.
Yep. Okay, let me try that again.
Anyone else notice that we're teaching Speed to send an email live on
the topic of tonight is customer support.
Yeah, it's like that scene in Zoolander when they start banging on the computer and the music from 2001: A Space Odyssey starts playing.
Yeah.
While Speed is trying to figure out how to work email, Brainbot, I absolutely love that icon.
Do what now?
That new icon that you have, the wasp, the thinking wasp.
Yes.
Ooh.
I love that.
Yes, I think it's adorable.
We never think of wasps as contemplative creatures.
They're very social creatures. They communicate with each other constantly. So I don't know if you would say that they can be pensive about things, but I do know that they kick all the males out about this time of year out of the hive and all go to sleep. Kick the males out to die, and then they go to sleep.
They communicate with each other because they're always plotting.
Yeah.
That's why.
Oh yeah, this one's plotting. You can see.
Yeah.
Look at those
definitely.
eyes. There's some nefarious plans afoot.
Exactly.
So the insects we call wasp, are they pretty much all the same genus?
No, the insects we call wasp, to use the word wasp as monophyletically, it would include ants and bees too.
They're Hymenoptera.
Yeah, it'd be the entire order of Hymenoptera.
Because there's every once in a while you hear about those wasps that lay eggs, or maybe it's ants that lay eggs in a wasp, or wasps lay egg in ants.
So parasitic wasp, let's trip over my tongue, Onychnoidea, they are pretty prevalent too. A huge portion of what we call wasp fall into that category of parasitic wasp. And then you have like Pepsis, spider wasp. You got wasps that parasite caterpillars, wasps that parasite other hymenopterans.
Yeah, and those like green jewel wasps that lay their eggs in cockroaches.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they just seem to have diversified very richly.
Yeah. I think it comes from them being social and being able to depend on each other. Same as ants. Ants have really exploded. Ants are hymenopterans too. The only thing that's comparable, I think, would be like termites. So that they're in the roach family. The cool thing about that group, the Blattodae, is that you can see every stage on the way from being completely solitary to being eusocial with termites in the roach family. So it's really cool that you can see all the evolutionary steps and all the characteristics moving along the way to being eusocial. In hymenopterans, you can sort of see that, but it's more a lot of the ones that are less social now are actually derived from more social species. So there's kind of a reversal there. They became more parasitic.
I have a question. Why is it that like honeybees have a stinger that usually kills them when they use it versus wasps who don't? Like that seems like something that natural selection would have sort of gotten rid of a while ago. It's pretty.
Why?
So in bees
they don't reproduce.
The bees live in a lot. There's more of them in their colony than there are generally with wasps. So every wasp counts in a nest. Bees are kind of worker bees are kind of expendable.
I guess that's true. Have you ever seen the
theoretically
video?
Speaking? I don't know for sure, but
have you seen how like the video when giant Japanese hornets attack a beehive and how the bees are able to kill the hornets even though they're like 50 times their size? They surround one of the hornets and they start vibrating and the hornet gets so hot it gets cooked.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So how long does it take them to cook?
Hey guys,
not very long.
It doesn't take long.
I may end up I may disappear momentarily. Something's going on with my computer. Oh
man, everybody's having computer problems tonight.
I think it's StreamYard.
That wasn't me.
StreamYard is just dragging my computer down like you wouldn't believe. Wow, that's bizarre.
Peculiar.
Yeah, I can't even trying to share a screen when I go to select something. It takes about a minute for it to move from one item to the next.
Yeah, StreamYard seems to do updates and doesn't notice when people are actually using it and messing with their streams. So yeah. I think it was 2 weeks ago when Onra's entire panel disappeared from the live stream because StreamYard did an update.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw that. Yeah.
Everyone was gone. We could still hear them, but could no longer see them.
Bizarre.
So, AJ, I was going to say about the Asian giant hornets. People were making such a big deal about that because they were targeting honeybees. So they're basically targeting an invasive species that they're the natural predator of where they came from. So the honeybees come over here and they thrive because they're able to push their way into this ecosystem. And now they're basically a keystone species. We couldn't do without them now because they wiped out all the native species. But now you bring their natural predator over here. I don't think that the Asian giant hornets are going to wipe out the honeybees, but people are worried about the bottom line because it's affecting agriculture and honey production. So when people were panicking about murder hornets, it was about agriculture. It was about profit margins. It wasn't about they're going to kill the poor bees. It wasn't about they're going to hurt people.
I'm sorry. Have you seen the end of Bee Movie? Yeah, I rest my case. No, I wasn't saying it because I think it's bad that they're killing bees. I just think it's really interesting.
I wasn't talking about you specifically. I was talking about the people about the murder hornets.
Yeah, the bees get slaughtered, but they're able to kill some of the hornets. The hornets can just literally bite them in half. But there's I think a National Geographic video or something showing it, and I swear when they're showing the hornets land on the nest, they added helicopter sound effects for some reason. I don't know why.
Do they play the Wagner music from Apocalypse Now?
I don't think so, but they have this sound of a helicopter landing. It's so stupid. But
they do that on a lot of insect videos and stuff. When I was younger, I used to watch that Bug Wars. I tried to watch that again now, and they put little kung fu sounds when the mantises are jumping around and stuff.
Really any of those nature documentaries, and of course they're good, the ones that are narrated by the British guy, I forget his name.
David Attenborough.
Yeah, those are great, but I think they always add some sound effects because they have to, because if you think about what they're actually filming, when they film an insect that's running across the water, they're not really getting good audio of splashing noises, you know what I mean? So they have to add that stuff later. But it's something I've noticed more recently as I've watched those. I guess I didn't notice when I was younger.
They almost always overlay just ambient background noise of the area, but that they're talking about. They used to just do any area, so you'd hear kookaburras in Africa and things like that, but they've gotten better about it as time went on when they make those nature documentaries. Now they at least get African ambience over African footage and Australian ambience over Australian footage.
I think one of the last ones I saw, it was a clip, but it was really good. It was talking about this spider. It's a male spider that's really tiny. And it was talking about the mating ritual. And basically, he has to clean his entire environment because the female suitor comes in. And if his area isn't totally clean, she's going to kill him. And then he has to do this dance. And if she's not impressed with his dance, she's going to eat him. And I just thought it was really funny.
Wow.
And she's like huge and massive, and he's a little tiny guy dancing for her.
Yeah, and he has all these little bright colors that he like. I don't know. It was really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it might have been. Was it a jumping spider, the peacock?
Yeah, it's something like that because it would flash these really bright colors like from its backside.
They are gorgeous little creatures.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find the clip.
I think it's the peacock jumping spider, and I think that might have been narrated by David Attenborough too. It might have been
probably. It was really
good. I hear it in my head, him describing how he cleans the little area and the bright colors. I know what you're talking about. I've seen it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's not as much size disparity as I was picturing in my head, though. If they're jumping spiders, the females is a little bit bigger, but not monstrous like you would see in a widow spider.
But it seems like with spiders, usually the female is bigger and is usually more aggressive. Like a lot of times they're going to eat the male after they reproduce. And I don't know why that is.
That's why you get spiders with names like widow spiders, because the males so often get captured and eaten.
Is there a reason that they do that, or the reason that it's not the other way around?
After she's fertilized, she just wants to find something to eat, and she doesn't care what it is to help those eggs develop.
Yeah,
use some protein for egg development.
Yeah, because I think her life is pretty much like forfeit after that. Like the whole purpose of her life is just to reproduce. So she knows that all she has to really do is just live long enough to hatch the eggs.
Except for with mygalomorph spiders, because they like tarantulas and trapdoor spiders, because they live a really long time and they can reproduce again and again. The females, some tarantula species, the females can live up to over 40 years. I think there was one wild trapdoor spider that this scientist kept study on, and it would live for like over 30 years. She wrote a pretty endearing little blog about it, but so they can live for a long time and reproduce over and over. Whereas Rania, like true spiders, the female once she's laid her eggs, her life's pretty much done.
Yeah, trapdoor spiders are really cool. Like, I wonder how that sort of developed from like the evolution of those spiders. Like, and it's just such an interesting way that they sort of live and capture their prey. It's really cool.
Yeah, trapdoor spiders. Do you ever see the ones that have the butt that looks kind of like an Oreo? I guess that's a no since everybody's silent. They actually block their entrance to their homes with their own abdomen. It's like a armored.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that before. But I think usually, like when you see videos of them, they don't come all the way out of their burrow. It's just sort of enough to grab their prey.
I've raised them, and they only come out to poop and eat. And most of the time, you don't see them poop. You just know that they pooped because the white guano all over the wall. I guess would it be guano? It looks like guano, and it gets. They're pretty prolific poopers, so eventually you can't even see through it, and you got to reach in there and wipe it off. And the whole time you're sticking your hand in there saying, "You motherfucker better not pop out and bite me."
So Brian, I'm obligated to do a pure bug video for my neighbor's 4-year-old son next door. So you and I should get together, get the microscope out, get all my bugs out of the freezer, and go through them.
Did you ask this kid what his favorite bug was?
He asked me what my favorite red-colored bug, black-colored bug, and purple-colored bug, like the shirt I was wearing.
Oh, wow.
But he didn't ask me directly. He hides his eyes and has his mom ask questions for him. So he's pretty cute. He's pretty cute.
That is cute.
Awesome.
But yeah, his mom told him that I have a microscope and I have a YouTube channel, and so he wants me to do a video for him. So, and I can't have any of you bastards on here because he's a kid, except for Brian.
Hey. Okay.
Yeah. Am I kid friendly? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any bugs. I don't know anything about bugs.
Yeah, we gotta be kid friendly.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh my god, it does look like an Oreo. Holy shit!
My goodness.
You don't want that. You don't want to eat that cookie though.
Don't eat that Oreo.
It looks good though. God damn, I'm hungry.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't know. You could probably slow roast one of these and eat them.
Yeah.
I've heard tarantula tastes pretty much just like crab.
So that's the front door. He's his own front door, or
buffalo spiders.
Yeah. So when you're knocking, just have some respect.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a great security system.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Think about having some of these installed in my house.
Yeah, there you go.
Just like right next to the doorbell, just have this little button here.
Funny that you should mention slow roast. That's what I'm doing to Speed right now.
Slow roast.
No one cares, Peter. No one knows about this. No one knows where it is. No one's been in touch with it. You're the only one in the world.
There are at least 2 and I think 3 people in this hangout presently who know.
Okay. Anyway, we're
You
gonna
got some kind of secret that
we're gonna shoot it in the head right now.
I'll DM you on Twitter, Brainbug.
We're shooting it. We're shooting it. We're shooting it in the head right now. Okay.
We are?
Yeah, because we got some things to discuss. So anyway,
we got things to discuss.
Yeah, we do. Anyway, so I'm gonna shoot it in the head, guys. I want to go eat. It's late. We're not doing anything. What do you think?
Do it.
Goodbye, cruel world.
all right.
Fuck it all.